Here's the deal. I don't know about all. I know we got a chance this week to play for a rock and play for the seniors. And there's always something to play for. I talked about this in the SEC Media Days, okay? We got to get out of this. Oh, man, it's playoffs or bust. Yes, again, we're shooting for the moon. We're going to put our whole self into that. But only 12 teams make the playoffs, and we put ourselves in position in November to be there. Okay, didn't get it done. I got that. But if the season only counts for 12 football teams, and we got 127 Division I playing football teams, that math's not going to math very well. That math's not going to math very well, okay? Football is more than just the playoff potential. And, again, we were there. We were there. We didn't get it done.
Drink is talking again. At the beginning of the season at SEC Media Days, he said he wants a 30-team playoff. He did all the math about it, and now his team, obviously outside of the college football playoff talk because of what has happened with not only in the win-loss column, but also what has happened with his two starting quarterbacks going into the season, both Sam Horn and Bo Perbula, now all out. Coach Drinkwitz, if you're looking at it from a holistic standpoint, if you're looking at it from a philosophical standpoint, I get exactly what he's saying.
Right.
I understand exactly what he's saying. But yeah, kind of. It kind of does come down to the last 12 teams. And the season, not that the season matters for 12 teams, not really at all. College football is still developmental. But in my opinion, he's arguing a point that what he argued for 30 teams, what he argued was more teams getting to have the fun.
The percentage.
Correct. Have the fun, have the excitement. So the 12 teams that do get in have the fun and have the excitement, and the ones that aren't are left a little bit, saddened by it. But I do understand why you put all your eggs in that playoff basket. And Nick Saban said this, like when the playoff first started, it's like, we're going to water down the bowl games. And we have watered down those bowl games.
Yeah, and honestly, what I'm thinking of it, what I see from what he just said was that he's linked to these job openings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he's truly a contender or not.
Right.
I think he's usually, from what I've seen on the sports books, he's usually the third or the fourth highest odds.
Right.
This just takes him out of the Auburn job, the Florida job definitely, the LSU job definitely, because, I mean, that's what these fan bases want.
Yeah, right.
So that just honestly tells me, hey, Eli, you're great for Mizzou.
Yeah.
Because Mizzou will never fire him as long as they're somewhat competitive.
Right. And they're putting money into it because remember the storyline at the beginning of the season was they're putting more than $250 million into athletics. And so
that stadium, which is a ghost town, I mean, honestly.
Right.
If I were playing at Mizzou, they're doing the construction in the one end zone, I would just say, hey, I'm going to pick which way I'm going to go. I'm going to go that way the second and the fourth quarter.
Right.
Because then you don't even have to deal with the fans.
Correct.
I mean, you could pretty much make it a home game because all the noise is going to be behind you. There's going to be no noise in front of you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure that all their opponents have thought of it that way. They're thinking, hey, you know what, we can get it a competitive advantage here by literally going into the ghost town there in that end zone. So we've talked about this with Lane, and we'll talk about it with Drink here as well. He's obviously looking to temper expectations. The mentality of the college football playoff or bust is what he's kind of attacking here. Do you think that all of this, this whole thing is a cloud for him to say, this is the reason why I am staying here, because he feels like they can make the college football playoff and everything else moving forward? Do you think that this is basically like, just putting the ripples out there early on?
I think so. I don't see Eli leaving Columbia. I really think he fits that program well.
Right.
He's really started to improve the program in recent years. But, I mean, the statement him and Lane would make by staying at their programs
absolutely
would have a ripple effect for arguably the next 10 years at least. I mean, LSU, Florida thinking, hey, I mean, we've got our guys in the bag. We've got them right now. LSU, for some reason, Vegas thinks they're getting Nick Saban, which I think is blasphemy.
Yeah.
Again, do not bet on that. You're just going to be giving Vegas more money that Vegas does not need right now.
Right.
And then Florida fans are like, yeah, we're going to lose this weekend, and then we're going to take your coach.
Right.
And it's over. It's already done. In their eyes, it's already done.
Yeah.
But the statement these two coaches would make, if they're like, I don't care if you're going to give me more money. I have infinite job security here.
Right.
I don't want to deal with fans. I mean, I think I brought up Ryan Day last year.
Yes.
After the Michigan game.
Yeah.
He had to hire a security guard around his house 24/7. Because they lost, and the fans were that mad about it.
Yep. And then about a month and a half later.
I mean, we were talking about, hey, Ryan Day's going to get fired probably because he can't beat Michigan ahead of the college football playoff. And then what does he do? He wins 4 straight.
Yep, he wins it 4 straight, wins a college football playoff and a national championship, and then now he's minted there. I saw him playing in a golf tournament a little while back, a little while after that. It was like, and everybody's cheering him, and they have the Ohio State stuff on, and it's like fans have these fickle memories, and so. I'm with you. I think that if you could do it there, then if you feel like you could do it where you are, then there's no reason to leave. And I think if you're Missouri, literally all you have to do is look at Kirk-Cinetti.
Yes.
And there is nothing, in my opinion, that Indiana can accomplish that Missouri can't.
No.
And to me, they're not necessarily equal programs, but as far as like their pedigree, they're in the pecking order of college football. When you think of the powers, you think of Alabama, Oklahoma, Florida, LSU, Notre Dame, and a few others. That second wave of teams would be teams like Indiana and teams like Missouri and teams like Kansas and Texas Tech and some of these other squads that, in my opinion, if you're looking at your job, you could look at Kirk-Cinetti and say, hey, why not? We could be literally the number 2 team in the country, square in the hunt for a first-round bye in a college football playoff bid.
You're still in the SEC.
Yes.
It's not like you're in the ACC and you're a bottom feeder in the ACC.
Right.
Yeah, this year hasn't gone to plan. The last 2 years really haven't gone to plan.
Right.
I mean, you started off strong, but it feels like Eli is kind of taking after James Franklin. He just can't really win the big games.
Big ones, right.
But still, Mizzou's not going to really care. I mean, they're still competitive. They're going to make a bowl game pretty much every year.
Right.
And they're going to produce NFL talent. We just saw it with Luther Burden last year.
Yeah.
But the only thing that kind of concerns me a little bit about the 2 coaches that we've been talking about is they haven't signed extensions yet.
Yes.
And I feel like at this point of the year, we saw it with Kirk-Cinetti. We saw it with Matt Rule. We saw it with Rhett Lashley.
Right.
But the only thing I'm holding on to about Lane Kiffin is that he's like, I've never had money talk in the middle of a season. I've never signed an extension in the middle of the season.
And maybe as like a philosophy thing like that, like they just do not want to start talking dollars and cents. They'll play that contract out. And also too, there might be Jimmy Sexton saying, hey, look, for every day that you
tell you what, he's going to make some money.
Yeah, he is. That commission check's going to be fat. And the thing is that
all of these guys.
Right. He might be thinking, hey, it's a leverage play. You don't sign an extension yet, and we can add more. Who knows what the value of that extension might be 6 weeks from now, as compared to right now. And so it will be really interesting. Of course, this is a really interesting week for Missouri because they play a Mississippi State team that's riding high. And I know they just lost, by a lot to Georgia, but this is a team right before that got their first win at Arkansas, first SEC win, I should say, under head coach Jeff Lebby after going 0 for the SEC last year. Started off really hot this year. This is a tricky game to me if you're Missouri because I know that there's reasons to be down in the dumps about this, but you really can't be because Mississippi State's coming into town and they want blood.
Yeah, and the only thing I think plays into Missouri's favor is that this is a home game and it's senior day for the seniors. I mean, we've seen the difference in play for Mississippi State when it comes to a home game and an away game is night and day. I mean, they almost knocked off Tennessee, almost knocked off Texas. Last week was a little bit of a dud. The Arizona State win at home was huge. It's tough to play there with the Cowbells, but on the road, it's just not the same team. And another thing for Mississippi State is we don't know about Blake Shapen. He left last week's game with an injury. He's still uncertain to play this game, and that's going to be a major problem for Mississippi State if he can't go.
Right, that's exactly right. And both teams are going to backup quarterbacks. And this feels like the NFL when it becomes a game of matriculation and you just have a game of attrition, I should say, and you just are just trying to hold on because you mentioned Blake Shapen. And then, of course, from Missouri, both Sam Horn goes. I don't know if he went under the knife or not. I don't know if he had to have surgery. But then Bo Perbula gets injured as well. They turn to the freshman in Zollers. We got a chance to hear from Coach Drink about his QB1, the true freshman.
Yeah, for us, it's about getting him comfortable earlier in the game and creating some easier opportunities for him to get into a rhythm. We never really got him into the rhythm offensively, and so we've got to do a better job of creating some offensive rhythm and not putting him in, situations where he feels the entire pressure to make the play. So that's something that we can do. Obviously, I think, Matt didn't play his senior year because of an injury. The game against UCA and ULL was, the first times he's really played, and then Vanderbilt. So I knew there was going to be some things that we got to continue to work on. I think his confidence in yesterday's walkthrough was better. I think his confidence in practice will be better. And now we've got building blocks on what we can build upon. And so, but it's not, it's unfair to expect Matt to carry the load. I've got to do my job of carrying the load for Matt. Our staff's got to do their job. And then our whole team's got to continue to do their job.
I think it's the right way to handle somebody who is a true freshman. And as you heard, and if you did not know, and I did not know, that Zollers did not play as a senior in high school because of an injury. So he's basically going on the better part of the last 2 football seasons with not a lot of football being played. And you saw that when he was overwhelmed last week against the Aggies.
Yeah, and have fun because you're playing in the SEC.
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
mean, your first football action in 24 months is against SEC opponents, and your first start is against Texas A&M, who's undefeated and is more than likely going to have a first-round bye in the college football playoff. So,
right.
I mean, it was just it wasn't really set up for success. Obviously, you welcome in Mississippi State. Jeff Lebby looking for his second SEC win in his second season, both this season. But, Mississippi State does have a lot to play for.
Yeah.
And Missouri at this point, just try to make a bowl game.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you make a bowl game with your third-string quarterback with how this season has gone, that's a win in my book.
Yeah, absolutely. And went back to look because I think both these teams, Missouri's already bowl eligible.
Oh, yeah,
they're now looking to get a bigger bowl. Go into a bigger bowl, so to speak. And Mississippi State sitting at 5 wins, they're wanting to play for a bowl game. And with Ole Miss at the end of the season, you go in thinking any given Saturday, but you have to think that you have to win this game if you're going to keep your season alive and play that one extra bowl game. In my opinion, this is different from LSU because to me, teams like LSU, teams I'm trying to think of another team that have really high expectations. The bowl game for them means almost nothing.
Right.
Teams like Missouri, Mississippi State, bowl games to them mean a lot, I would think.
Yeah, and if we look at the schedule to end the year, I think if you win the Mississippi State game, I don't think you win the Oklahoma game, but if you can beat Arkansas as well and then win a bowl game, finish winning 3 of your last 4, build some momentum heading into next year. If Matt Zollers can play well, he could make a run at – I don't know if Bo Perbula is going to come back. I think if he has eligibility, he should.
Right.
Because in my opinion, I said this before the year, I think Bo was a better quarterback than Sam Horn.
Yes,
It happened. It was unfortunate for Sam because it wasn't truly a quarterback battle. But I think he could make a serious run at Bo Perbula for the starting job. And, I mean, I think the talent is there. We saw it a little bit against Vanderbilt.
Right.
It's just you got to build the momentum and build the confidence playing against SEC opponents.
That's exactly right. And so we'll see how that one shakes out as Missouri and Mississippi State play a very interesting game for both teams coming in. Of course, both teams coming in a little bit hobbled at the QB1 situation. We'll see what the offense is like on Saturday. Coming up next,